Hello and welcome to this episode of FDE TV. I'm Steve Dunkerley. Now, business today is moving at a truly frenetic rate. Disruptive technologies are creating exciting new business models that are able to shift customer loyalty in an instant. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the demands being placed on the compute, storage and network infrastructure are accelerating, and there's a constant need for hardware and software to be upgraded and refreshed. So what can be done to help companies move with speed and agility and make the right decisions when it comes to acquiring and managing technology? How can a data center be kitted out tomorrow when there's very little room in the budget today? How has tech finance and asset management evolved to also accommodate specific capacity requirements? And to what extent are CFOs aware and on board with flexible consumption models? So in this episode of FDE TV, I'll speak to Dave Roberts, who's the Chief Sales Officer for EMEA for Dell Financial Services, and his colleague Rob Schonk, who's the EMEA Channel Partner Sales Director. We'll also be getting an analyst perspective from IDC's Susan Middleton, who moderated a recent FDE roundtable held in Munich that was produced in association with Dell Financial Services. But we begin by asking, what are the key technologies companies should be acquiring to support a digital transformation?
Customers are faced with transforming their own people and actually transforming their core assets within the data center. So I like to call it the client to the cloud. How do the customer and the partner take the journey from their people and enabled through the client devices that they interface with, which would be the PC, the laptop, the desktop device, all the way through the data center, which would be the server assets, the storage assets, and then how do they interface through into the cloud for agility? So it's that full remit of assets across from client all the way through to cloud.
The customers that are doing the best at digital transformation are very mature in what IDC calls the third platform. And the third platform has four main pillars, which are social, mobile, big data and analytics, and cloud.
There's all sorts of things going on, but we've defined it as there's a modernization, an automation, and a transformation exercise going on. So you need to invest in new technology, at the same time invest in to keep the lights on. But also what of course is needed is you need to reduce your cost on the more traditional IT investments so you save money to invest in new things.
So careful budget planning is needed when migrating from legacy technology assets to new agile assets that better support the third platform. From a data center perspective, in order for enterprises to justify keeping things on-prem and not having to put everything into the public cloud, the key is to be lean and efficient, hence the widespread adoption of converged and hyper-converged infrastructure. So what do these terms mean for the uninitiated?
So look, we have the buzzwords of converged and hyper-converged. Converged within Dell Technologies is now called CPSD. It was the VCE brand, one of the very, very early market kind of leaders of converged infrastructure. So combining that compute virtualization storage layer all within one device and bringing major efficiencies to the customer. That's still got a place today for very, very high-end requirements, for very high-end and fast apps. But what we're seeing actually is that customers are also seeing a need for that converged infrastructure, but also at a lower cost. And that's where we see hyper-converged. So basically for all of those application requirements that are still needing converged infrastructure, but at a lower cost, we have the blend of both, converged, hyper-converged.
So while the data center is becoming more efficient with hyper-converged infrastructure, such as the VxRail offered by Dell Technologies, the demands being placed on data center performance is intensifying. Third platform technologies, AI, virtual and augmented reality, driverless cars, the Internet of Things, they're all thirsty for bandwidth and capacity. So what are the tech financing and usage model solutions in a climate where budgets are so very tight?
So traditional technology finance solutions, look, we shouldn't underestimate the power of pure financing and leasing in today's environment. That hasn't gone away, and customers are still actually adopting those basic solutions. I liken a traditional finance model to be an asset management solution. The customer and the partner have an ability to manage a monthly, quarterly, periodic cost for the usage of that asset. And that lease, that basic financial product includes all of the costs, hardware, software, maintenance, services. So to an end-to-end asset management solution of that device or that server or that storage asset to enable the lowest cost of usage over a period of time. They're not going away. But what we are seeing is customers want to have a layer above that that says, how do I become agile? How do I make sure that I haven't bought too much? If I have a layer of flexibility above that baseline structure, then I can scale up and down. I can have a speed of advancing into that asset. I don't have to go through the procurement cycles that can delay my business. So in today's world, in the digital world, speed to market and time are critical. And that's where the agile solutions, we call it open scale, flex on demand. That's where the agile solutions have a play.
So flexible consumption models are great for companies that want to launch themselves into the market, but not have to worry about whether they have got enough equipment to support a surge in demand. Dell Financial Services over-provision the data center for clients just in case they may need additional capacity. They can also accommodate those that have peaks and troughs in demand as usage is typically metered, like the household gas bill. This pay-per-use component sits on top of a basic as-a-service subscription that in itself is also very flexible.
So we see that this new type of subscription model offers you a monthly pricing, quarterly pricing, yearly pricing. It's really flexible in terms of what the customer needs, but it also gives customers the ability to walk away if that business project doesn't work out. And I think that is probably one of the top attributes that they like about these new models.
This ability to walk away that Susan mentions is a key element of a flexible consumption model offered by Dell called CloudFlex.
CloudFlex is a real innovation, and it's kind of a start of where we're moving towards the cloud. So it's basically all of the benefits of an on-premise technology solution based on Dell Technologies VxRail. It has the price point of a cloud solution, but actually all of the choice of owning the asset on-prem. When I say own, I mean owning the rights to use that asset. So it actually requires only a year one commitment to the storage solution, the rail solution. Thereafter, the price declines on an annual basis, and there is no further commit. It's on a quarterly usage basis. Customer can return at any time. So that combination of the best of breed technology solution, on-premise, so under the customer or partner's control, with a declining annual price point that really meets the flavor of the cloud, but that choice or that option to change direction and return the asset at any point on that journey.
So we've heard about CloudFlex, and Dave also mentioned OpenScale and Flex on Demand. With a number of different flexible consumption models on offer, how do you find out which one is right for your organization?
We try as Dell Financial Services to listen. What is it exactly you need? Often they tell us what they want, and then we ask, why do you want it? And then you find out what it is they're trying to accomplish. So again, speed to market, or being able to handle the peaks you get in certain times of the year, whatever your business you're in, you can imagine. So we ask, why do you need this flexibility? And then often the what they had in mind changes, and we offer them something that really suits their requirements.
So flexible consumption models seem to be a far more bespoke, a far more customized solution than what you'd expect with a traditional operating lease coupled with end-to-end asset lifecycle management. So who from the enterprise should be driving the adoption of flexible consumption models?
So our surveys have said that typically it's a CFO and CIO partner decision. There was a lot of discussion, I think, in the market that line of business was driving a lot of this, and that's pretty much gone away. You know, line of business might have the business requirements, but they're working in conjunction with their CIO and CFO to get it done.
So the CFO is a key stakeholder, but to what extent are they actually on board with flexible consumption models?
CFOs sometimes really feel that it's a fad, that basically it's a different way of disguising a price. Our job is to actually bring a very simple, transparent comparison of cash price, of a financing model such as a lease, and then the flexible consumption model. So we actually need to understand how the CFO would analyze the business case of using an asset over time, but also linked to the IT's requirements of that asset. And if we understand the CFO's model for understanding the cost basis of that asset, we can very simply compare those three things together and decide together which is the best.
So to wrap up, it seems that many CFOs may have overlooked flexible consumption models without truly understanding the benefits. With many flavors on offer, the first port of call is to have a trusted advisor help tailor a solution that aligns with your own company's unique goals and objectives. Anyway, I hope this video has provided you with some food for thought, particularly if you're planning to transform your own business. Please check out the special FDE report on tech financing and usage model solutions, and please visit the FDE and Dell Financial Services website for further details. In the meantime, please like this video and subscribe to FDE TV. Many thanks for watching. I've been Steve Dunkerley. Goodbye.